Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste, a very warm welcome to all of you. Welcoming all of you for our Weekend with Wisdom series. And in this series, we have been discussing on the text Kathopanishad, and we have with us Dr. Jayakumar Srinivasan ji. Namaste, Jayakumar ji. Thank you so much for joining us. Before I introduce Jayakumar ji, I would like to start with an invocation. समस्त जन कल्याणी निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ। Dr. Jayakumar Srinivasan ji graduated from IIT Madras in 1985. He's a chemical engineer with master's and PhD degrees at Purdue University and with 25 years of experience in the chemical industry. Inspired by Swami Dayananda Saraswati ji, Jayakumar ji has been studying Vedanta and Sanskritam since 1996 and established several Bhagavad Gita study chapters and Vedic heritage programs for children in Houston, USA. He also engaged actively with various Hindu organizations on several community projects, including rehabilitation of Bhutanese refugees. The work of Indian History Awareness and Research, an organization he co-founded, in exposing blatant anti-India narratives, resulted in a publisher withdrawing a 10th standard social studies textbook in 2015. In 2010, Jayakumar ji was recognized by the Hindu community of Houston with the Akhil Chopra Unsung Hero Award. After 30 years in the USA, Jayakumar ji returned to Coimbatore in 2015, spent 2 years full-time in the ashram of Swami Dayananda Saraswati ji, and has been teaching Vedanta and Sanskritam and gives motivational talks and life lessons to professors, teachers, parents, and students. He founded Arsha Seva Kendram, a non-profit trust. With 15 faculty members, the trust is conducting over a dozen online courses, including Bhagavad Gita, Kathopanishad, and college quality Sanskritam courses, and provides education and subsistence financial support to over 60 underprivileged children. They lead grassroots programs such as temple revival programs in Tamil Nadu. With that introduction, I invite Jayakumar ji to continue our study and reflection on the Kathopanishad. Over to you, Jayakumar ji. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahmavidyaa Charyaya Naciketas cha. So we are in the third session of the 4-session plan to study or to understand the basics of Vedanta. Kathopanishad is not a basic text. It requires some basic understanding before fully understanding the uh, the full message of Kathopanishad. But we can therefore take pieces, bits and pieces from the Upanishad and unfold what we want to teach. That's the idea here. And these sessions are 2 hours. And I'm reminded of all these 2 hours, which is twice as long as our typical classes. And I'm reminded of these flights, the intercontinental flights. Suppose you're going from Chennai to Delhi. Chennai to Delhi is 3 hours. Um, then Delhi to Frankfurt or London or something. That's some 8, 9, 10 hours, it takes. It's more than twice as long as a typical flight. And so these flight people, staff, they have to prepare for it. You have to load the fuel, so many hours it has to go, plus some safety margin is there, and then everything, luggage is loaded up, and all checks are done. And then they close the doors. It's a big process. Nice. It's a very established process. So even I have to think. This is a twice as long journey, right? 2 hours long. So I have to figure out how to சூடு பிடிக்கிறதுக்கு எப்படி, in the sense, how to warm up, how to turn on your, put on your seat belts and face masks. Oxygen masks are there on top. Should there be any um, shortage of oxygen supply, lower oxygen pressure in the cabin, etc. So here, see, look at this. Here, it's all working. Why it's working is our internet has to work. Electricity must be there. In my side, it should be there. Your side, it should be there. The surroundings must be relatively quiet. Children running up and down, it's hard to follow what's going on. And so many things, so many uh, I's have to be dotted, T's have to be crossed, everything has to work out. That is why we start our classes with a prayer, prarthana. Very important. Prarthana is so important. More I think about it. Even see, when we are listening to the recording of something like a talk. Suppose somebody wants to listen to our recording or some Swamiji's talk. Good talk happened. Somebody said Sarva Priyanandaji's talk in Bangalore last week happened. Suppose you want to listen to it. Starts with a prarthana. And in our hurry, what we do, we listen to it on YouTube. We forward some of these things, cut, 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 cut. Because prarthana, I'm good at that, prarthana and all I don't need. No, we only need prarthana. They don't need prarthana. We need prarthana. And so this prarthana starting Mangala Charanam is so important. All our acharyas composed Mangala Charanams which are so long. It's just mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Because these days you can just print a book. Book is there, just print it. And 100 copies, 1,000 copies, publisher, this, that. And these days PDF file also. Simply copy, paste, email. Or put it on Dropbox. Those days, to copy a text is already in palm leaf manuscript. Shankaracharya's Bhashyam is palm leaf manuscript. And then another copy is needed. One of his students or Shankaracharya himself has to copy the whole thing. And so in the process, sometimes there are some, what did he write? Okay, some doubt will be there. Some letter, is it there written properly or not? So that's how sometimes we get what is called Patha Bheda. All these things happen. So when we think about all that, our sanctity for what we are studying, Shankaracharya wrote the Bhashyam of this commentary 2500 years back. 2500 years. We can't even imagine this timeline. We can go back 1 year, 10 years, maybe our lifespan. Even our lifespan, we can't go back because we don't know. We don't have a memory of our childhood. So I think, and imagine Kathopanishad. Shankaracharya himself, 2500 years. Kathopanishad and all, we don't know when it came. Anyway, so last session, we talked about the third boon that Yamadharmaraja gave to Nachiketa of the three boons. First boon he asked for his father's benefit. Second boon he asked for Loka Sangrahartham for the benefit of humanity. This 5-year-old boy thinking about humanity. That's why we say this man, this boy is mature. He's not an ordinary boy. And third boon is for himself. And what he's asking for himself is not some goodies. I want this three-wheeler tricycle and all that. Not that kind of stuff. He's asking about Atma. Straight question without beating around the bush. What about this Atma which people say survives after death? That is what his question is. We saw that Yayam Prete Vichikitsa Manushye. It's a very oft quoted because it's a question asked by the Nachiketa, and all of us are Nachiketas, and therefore that question is good to memorize. Yayam Prete Vichikitsa Manushye Nayam Astiti Astitye Nayam Astiti Chaike. Some people say Asti is there. Some people say Nasti, not there. Charu Akash say no, not there. Basmi Bhutasya Dehasya. Hey, this body is going to just burn and go off. And you are worried about Atma that survives death. It's ridiculous. You're wasting your time. Nasti iti eke. Etad vidyam anushishtastvayaham. This is a key. He now says, I am your student. I want to be taught by you. Exactly like Arjuna said, I want to be taught by you. So that's a very unique. That signifies this Guru Shishya Parampara. Okay? That's what we understand from these words. One little word called Anushishtaha. And until then, Yama is not obligated to tell anything. Some sweet talk here and there. Okay, some Q&A happens. That's all fine. But this Brahmavidya is a different cup of tea, as they say. Correct? And so then we saw what Yamadharmaraja, instead of teaching him, he is saying this is not for you. Devairatrapi, very important mantra. Devaraitrapi. Even the gods had a lot of doubts about this and still have doubts. Don't you know Kathopanishad? Indra had to go to Uma, and Parvati taught Indra this Brahmavidya. So if Devas themselves are confused about it, so you let go. I can give you a lot of things. And so he gave all those things. Shatayushav Putra Pautran Vinishva, etc. And everything offered. Everything available on earth offered. What are the enjoyments, karmas not available on to Manushas? Nowhere available. And those from the heavens, from Yamaloka, I will send it to you. Don't worry. Okay. And people will be jealous of you if they see all these things. Those jealous people also I'll eliminate. Okay. So you will lead a good life. Okay? Everything he offered. So Ihaloka Bhogaha. What did Tattvabodhakara say vairAgyam was? Vairāgyam is Ihaloka Iha Amutra Phala Bhoga Viragaha. Iha means because see our Shastram is very precise. It won't say you have to be dispassionate about the things in this on earth. That's not a complete statement because somebody will ask, what about suppose tomorrow some planet happens, you go to some planet. Swarga is anywhere there. Oh, you mean I can just let go at Swargaloka? No, not acceptable. So Iha Amutra. Amutra means elsewhere. Anywhere else, the Loka, if you discover a Loka, if a Loka is named after you, that Loka also, that bhogas that are there, the enjoyments that are there, viragaha, clear. Viragaha is very clear. And so this boy says, what did he say? What is the famous statement? Tavaiva vahaha tava nritya gite. Correct? Mantra number uh,
26.
26, is it? Yeah, 26. Correct. Tavaiva vahaha tava nritya gite. You keep all these things with yourself. We have enough of it on earth. Enough types of musics are there, and some crazy music people are. This also we have. and people who are very music that mellows us down, and that also we have. The entire spectrum we have. We don't need all your music. And these Vahas, we also have our Hummer and all that we have. And we have all these sports cars also we have. And our, in fact, our Ambani has a whole floor full of cars, 32 cars or something he has. So I know all these things. You don't have to attract me. And why? Because they're all Shobhavaha. Very important word we saw in the last session. Shobhavaha. They're all things which give people anxiety. They give happiness, all right, but happiness comes along with some anxiety. Why? What if this car doesn't work tomorrow? I may have to end up, how much these guys are going to charge me? They say the spare parts is where the automobile company makes a lot of money. Spare parts. Because a particular Audi car, or you take a particular car and Maruti car, that particular spare part only you can put. And so, and for that, you can't ride your car without the spare part. So you are stuck. And so that's where that is also there. So therefore, Shobhava, anxiety, maintenance anxiety, everything will be there. About things and about people also, of course. That's why all this life insurance, this, that is a whole industry that is surviving on our anxiety. Correct? It is my anxiety that provides the fuel for this entire industry. Cosmetic industry, $1 billion industry. All because I don't look good the way I am, the way God created me. I need to change my look. That's it, over. This idea they implant, watching all these advertisements. Then the industry survives. Okay. Now, and another famous statement he made. Na vittena tarpaniyaha manushyaha. This is number 26. Sorry, 27. Na vittena tarpaniya. Manushyaha, the human being, cannot be satisfied with wealth. That's it. One line, that's all he says. And he moves on from there. I have enough already, and you are giving me more. If I'm not happy, if I take all the stuff that you're giving me, that means I'm not happy with what I have. And myself have a lot actually. I am the son of a prince, of a king. I'm a prince. I have a lot, really speaking. I have nothing to complain. Therefore, this is the unending thing. If I go after Vidya, it will just keep on going. There's no end to it. He made that point. Chiketa makes that point. Therefore, towards the end, we did not see this in the last session. Nachiketa says, Yasmin Nidam, number 29, Vichikitsanti Mrityo, E Mrityo, like E Guru, in Sanskrit, Ukaranta, Pullinga, Mrityu. And Mrityu, when you address Mrityu, he becomes Mrityu, He Mrityu, He Mrityu. He is using first name basis. They are now first name basis, okay? Hey Vikram, hey Tom, hey Jack, that kind of basis. Hey Mrityu. Yasmin idam vichikitsanti. This topic of Atma, vichikitsanti, in which they all doubt. You yourself said Devas also doubt. I basically said people on earth doubt. You said Devas also doubt. Good. That means it's a very important topic. You have validated my question. Hey Mrityu. Okay. You have validated my question. Yet samparaye mahati bruhi nastat. Bruhi, tell me. Samparaye, after death, this whole idea, this whole thing about after death, something surviving, that's very fascinating to me. I need to know that. Tat bruhi, naha. Naha means to us. Tell that to us. See, he is addressing Yama in singular, Hey Mrityu. And he's referring to himself in plural. Okay, tell us. It's actually the other way around. It should be. It should be aap bataiye, mujhko bataiye. That is the correct statement. Tu हमको बताओ. What is this? This is very odd. It is. This boy is just amazing. Upanishad is just telling us all these interesting situations. Okay. Then this Valli gets over. This is the introduction to the Kathopanishad. And we saw a lot of important points. And several other points is going to be brought out by Yamadharma. He's going to start talking here in the second Valli of the first Adhyaya. Okay. So now look at this. Number 2. Okay, shloka mantra number 2, 1.2.2. If you have it with you, you can chant along with me. This is a famous shloka, so we all memorize it. So I'll say it slowly. Shreyascha Preyascha Manushyametaha Tau Samparitya Vivinakti Dhiraha Shreyo Hidiro Vipreyo Vrinite Preyo Mando Yoga Kshemat Vrinite. Okay, that's how this mantra goes. Here he is introducing two words called Shreyas and Preyas. Okay, he's telling now the teaching is almost started. Okay, not quite started because Atma is not quite mentioned here. He's still talking about the pursuits of a human being. So it's really a prelude to the main teaching. Okay, main teaching will start a bit later. So Shreyascha Preyascha Manushyam Etaha. He's saying, the human being has two options. Two options are staring at this human being. Manushyam Etaha. He doesn't say a human being can choose two options. He says two options are staring at this human being. I can go this way or I can go that way. What are the two ways? One is called Preyas, the other is called Shreyas. Yesterday also we saw some of this. By now, you've heard this, heard the words at least. Good chance to review what that is. So now Preyas means what? Preyas is Dharmartha Kama, three Purusharthas, Dharmartha Kama. The pursuit of these three Purusharthas comes under the category which Yama now calls as Preyas. Then you got Shreyas, which is what? Moksha Purushartha. The pursuit of Moksha Purushartha is called Shreyas. We saw also that this Dharmartha Kama Purusharthas require us to do something. Pursuit. That's why it's called pravritti. Require us to do something. I want artha, I want security. What? Simply sitting, you can't get security. You got to go out and secure yourself. Whatever my idea of security is, my idea of wealth, my idea of family is also security. Okay, family is not karma. Family is security first and foremost. After security, only karma. Karma comes after security. Because first, I must be free from fear. Only then enjoyment and pleasure comes. This is how it is. So all this, that security is taken care of. I have to do something. Child is growing up. Look at how much work parents have to do. How much work. Night also, sleep also is not there. So much work that they are not able to sleep also. That much work. So this is how it is. So this child has to grow up, 10 years, 15 years. At least now the work should be over for the parents. No? No. Still goes on. So different it is. Very different. This parenting, human parenting is just so different compared to animal parenting. Animals, you look at animals, okay? You look at, for example, I will give you an example. Deer. Think of deer in a forest, like Serengeti in Africa, in Kenya. Okay, I don't forget where Serengeti is. Let's say Kenya. And then, we've seen all this Animal Planet and National Geographic and all that. The deer is there, and the deer is giving birth to a baby. Okay. Now, here is the issue here. This is a forest where this real estate is going to be shared by lions, tigers, cheetahs, hyenas. Every animal there is a prey, animal of prey, meaning it will prey on the deer. Every animal, the deer is the most harmless being in this forest. Maybe others also may be there, but deer, you can imagine. And this deer in the middle of this forest is going to give birth. to a baby. How it's going to survive? Is there any chance that this baby deer itself survival tough? That's why fortunately it runs. But the baby deer, I don't think if you were to ask me to calculate the chances of survival, baby deer cannot survive at all. But then look at this. Look at this. This look at how this nature is. Bhagavan has done this srishti. The first thing is they all spawn at the same time. That birthing season is called birthing season for the deer, unlike human beings, which can, who can be born at any time of the year. These deer all in that forest, they all come together at the same time, thousands of deer. So this lion, when it sees this number, then the lion is somewhat scared. Even though that lion can still charge, and all the deer will run confused left and right, they will get smashed by their own weight, okay? And the deer will have a great feast. But the psychology is the deer is scared of this number. So first thing that works for the deer is what? Numbers. They come in large numbers and giving birth at the same time. So birthing coming in large numbers. Second, second defense. You know what? When they come right in the middle of the day when the heat is searing for 40 degrees Celsius, 45 degrees Celsius. What? Africa, you can imagine. It's searing, and that is not the time the lion is ready for a chase, not in any mood for a chase. It is taking a nap somewhere. Even though the deer, it can see the deer right in front of it. The lion is not in a mood. So, defense number two is what? The middle of the heat. Defense number three. Look at this. The baby is born. Okay? These animals can spray, they can smell, excuse me, can smell the odor. And once they sense the odor, they will immediately go after. They can sense the prey, and they instinctually they will run after the prey. But then this mother will lick the baby completely. You can see cows also. We've seen cows doing that to their calves. They will lick the baby, lick it so clean that not a single piece from the mother's womb is there on this baby. Okay. Then so the odor also is gone. No odor. Because the wind is there, this lions and others can smell it. And then the mother is kicking the baby. Kicking. Can you imagine a human parent, mother, father, kicking the baby? Is it possible? Is it possible? It's crazy. Why would you kick a baby? Not possible. So this thing is kicking the baby. Why? Because get up, get up, get up, get up. என்னம்மா இல்ல வரல சரி பண்ணுங்க கதை so get up, get up to do what? Well, this baby has only 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes this baby deer has to get up. Okay, has to get up, and you will find that baby trying to stand up, falling down, stand up. Then mother continues to kick the baby. Now what? Time for you to walk. This baby has only 10 more minutes to walk. 10 more minutes. It's hardly 10 minutes old. And it's stood up already. It is now learning to walk. So it's doing this, falling down, doing this, falling down. And the mother is always with the baby. Then mother continues to kick. What happened? What now? I think I've done. No, you have to start running. Within the next 10 minutes, this baby has to run. Can you imagine a newborn? This is a mammal. This is a big mammal, not a small bird or something like that. Should run within 30 minutes of birth. This is the life of a deer. And it has to leave. After that, it has to just, together they have to leave. Okay. So, this is the deer. And here the human being. You thought this boy is well grown up after going to college, right? I'm an adult, mom, he says. Then what? So you're an adult, then what? I know what I want. I know what I'll do. I know everything. You don't have to tell me everything. Okay, good. Then he goes back, gets married and all that. Then one call comes. Mom, I don't know. It's very confusing. Life is very confusing. Then only the mother says, "Oh, okay. Finally, this guy acknowledges parents also. Okay, what happened, boy?" So we need so much help. Year after year after year, it seems to go on and on. Unending it is. So, preyaha, dharmartha kama. Whenever there's a security, kama, and of course dharma, following dharma is not easy. Not at all easy. If you say in India, I will lead a life without bribing, especially living in Tamil Nadu, your life will be, you have to go to the streets, literally. You must have a very strong mind in order to be sane. Otherwise, you will become insane. Not possible. Not possible. In Tamil Nadu, it's not possible. You have to have cash handy. Okay? And you have to pray to Bhagavan and say, what am I supposed to do? So conflicts. Dharma is not easy. That's why it is a purushartha for us. In a conference that Swamiji attended, all religions conferences, conversion, this topic and all was there. And there, when during the conference, the Swami was saying, this conversion is a violent act. It's not acceptable to us, etc. Reasons and all he was presenting. And one of the things was adharma, etc. You're judging a person, etc. Whatever. This man, this from the other religion comes and tells Swamiji, for us, dharma is not a purushartha from the other religion. This flows are clear. We don't believe in dharma and all that. That's all your problem, your headache. For us, it is a purushartha. Effort has to be taken. Dharma sangatam will be constantly there. Okay. Therefore, he's saying dharma artha kama. He's given the name prayas. Shreyascha Preyascha. So prayers, you have to make all this effort. Then there is another thing, stream called Shreyas. And what is Shreyas if you ask? Okay, moksha. That is all. We've heard moksha. All Hindus would have heard moksha. Even non-Hindus in India would have heard the word moksha because it is there very much prevalent. That mindset is there. Moksha. Moksha. Think about what is moksha and all. Yesterday, last session we saw a couple of things. But the idea is this moksha is very different from dharma artha kama. This much he is mentioning. He is not yet told what is moksha, etc. Not yet said. Okay, what is atma, what is Brahmavidyaa, all that not clear. Just now started, right? So he is just giving an introduction. Yeah. Nachiketa, I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you. He says that. Later on also he's going to say, Abhidhyayan Nachiketo Atyasrakshi. He says that in number 3. I tempted you with so many goodies. You Atyasrakshi, you gave up. Tyaktavan, Parityaktavan, completely. You didn't have a doubt. You didn't entertain a doubt even one bit. Am I doing the right thing? By giving up all these kingdoms and all, some doubt can be there, right? Am I doing the right thing? Or some friends will be there. If you are clear, somebody else will tell, hey, idiot, you socha kya? Did you think about all this? You know what you're giving up? Yeah. Parityaktavan Shankaracharya, yes. Okay. Abhidyaya. That kind of person you are, hey Naciketa. And so therefore now I'm ready. I can tell you about Shreyas and Prayas because I know you can appreciate it because you already seem to know what this is. Okay. These two Shreyas and Prayas, Tau Samparitya Vivinakti Dhiraha. He says. There are these two, Prayas and Shreyas, two things are there. Then the Dhiraha, he uses the word Dhiraha here. Dhiraha means what? One who has buddhi is called dhiraha. Well, everybody has buddhi. Every human being has buddhi. Hands and legs may not be there. Okay, hands may not be working, paralyzed, etc. But buddhi is there. Fortunately, everybody is given a buddhi. And he says that is all you need. You don't have to say, I can't, I got a stroke, I got this, that. No, not acceptable, because buddhi everybody has. The one who has the buddhi and is able to use that buddhi is called a dhiraha. Dhiyam rati iti dhiraha. Okay? And so he's saying, dhiraha tau samparitya vivinakti. The dhiraha, that person who has that buddhi, is able to separate out the Shreyas and Preyas. It's all mixed up like this. No clarity is there about what I need to achieve. And then this person is able to separate it out and then slowly able to understand, oh, Dharmartha Kama, I got myself lost in the world of Dharmartha Kama. And there is something called moksha, and there is something called Atma, which is different from Anatma. Everything I've been doing is in the realm of Anatma only, and I'm still searching. Now I understand why they say, what you are, what you're seeking. Now only I'm able to get the significance of that sentence, you are what you're seeking. And I've heard statements that who am I and all that. I've seen talks advertised by who am I. And Indika, this academy, Advaita Academy, is saying Advaita one and oh no, not second and all that. Oh, I see, not second. Okay. Is that what it is? Well, we are going towards that. We're going towards that. That thinking falls in the category of Shreyas. Tau Samparitya. This is Yama saying, Yama's language. Samparitya means carefully removing those two, carefully understanding. Shankaracharya helps us understand that. Hamsaha iva ambasaha payaha, he says. Just like the swan separates the milk from the water. This must be some kind of a mythical swan that we've heard about. Okay, celestial swan. I don't think our regular swans can do that. So, just like that swan is separating milk and water, because milk and water cannot be separated, really speaking. You need a different eye to separate. But fortunately, this is not that's a physical activity. This is out here. I must be able to see. Okay? இங்க பண்ண வேண்டாமா? நான் class நடத்துறேன். இங்க மாத்திரம் தொலைச்சு. Okay, Shreyascha Preyascha. Then what? Then what? After separating this, what does this dhiraha do? Just simply keep quiet? No. Dhirohi, dhirobhi preyaso vrinite. Shreyohi dhirobhi preyaso vrinite. Then the dhira says, yeah, I understand what Shreyas is. Therefore, I am going to go with Shreyas. I am going to let go of my obsession with Preyas, Dharmartha Kama, and then move towards Shreyas. Dharma is still there. Doesn't mean he is going to forget Dharma and start speaking whatever he wants to speak. No, not like that. Dharma is there. But I know Dharma is not a goal in my life. Dharma is a means, not an end in itself. Therefore, then Shreyas becomes important to that person. He says, Preyo Mando Yogakshemat Vrinite. And what about the other person who is not a Viveki, who is not a Dhiraha? He is calling that person as Mandaha. Mandaha. If you look at many of these book English translations of these mantras, you will see the word Dhiraha means intelligent, Mandaha means foolish. Like that they will translate. We need to first understand because the word foolish means what we are already using the word foolish. Hey, you fool! That's a foolish thing you have done. All these things we are used up. We used up the word for meaning something. Is that what Yama is meaning here, intending to say here? That's what we would ask. How do you begin to understand this? You have to go back to Adhikaritvam we talked about yesterday. Adhikaritvam is what? Viveka, vairAgyam, shamadamadi, and mumukshutvam. These are the prerequisites for Advaita Vedanta. It doesn't say this prerequisite doesn't list you must have worked for 30 years, you must have earned money, you must have supported a family, you must have done this, you must have traveled all over the world. Nothing, zero. It doesn't talk anything about profession, it doesn't talk anything about gender, nothing. You must be married. No, nothing. Fortunately, it doesn't say you must be married. Otherwise, people like us will not have a place, So, um, What does it say? Viveka and vairAgyam. Viveka. So therefore, dhiraha is called what? Viveki. One who has viveka. One who is able to separate out Atma and Anatma. One who is able to separate out Shreyas and Preyas. That person is a viveki. Can you use the word intelligent for that person? It's up to you. I won't use that word intelligent at all. Because intelligent means what? When people say my child is intelligent, means what? Or your child is intelligent, means what? Child is doing well in school, that's what it means. Better than others, that's what it means. So we can't use the word intelligent here because that's not what is meant. Viveki, that's it over. Atma Anatma Vivekaha. Then Mandaha therefore means what? Aviveki. Shankaracharya says that also. Aviveki. Does not have viveka is a manda. That's all. Not foolish, unintelligent, stupid. All these words we don't use. What does the manda do? Preyo vrinite. He chooses the path of praise. Means dharmartha kama. He sticks with dharmartha kama. Why? Yoga kshemat. Why? Yama is very interesting. He says, see, there are two things: yoga and kshema. In the Preyo Marga, this Dharmartha Kama, I said we must make effort, right? That effort is translated in this, is mentioned in these two words, yoga, kshema. Those days, when my parents used to write letters, my mother used to write a letter to her sisters and brothers, and they used to write letters back to them in a postcard. It used to come, or inland letter those days. These days, if you ask all these things, our kids won't know what you're talking. Postcard, inland letter, and all that. You know, I saw this one cartoon. The father is reading a newspaper like this. He's reading in the morning, suppose, and then the boy is on the computer, laptop, and then the father is, my God, they have raised the price of the stamp by another 10 paise. His boy is asking, Dad, what is a stamp? He's asking. Okay. The boy doesn't know what a stamp is because we don't stick stamps in WhatsApp. You don't need to stick all these things. You only have to stick all this emojis you have to do. So, Yoga Kshema. They used to write, my mother used to write, please, I'm fine here, we are fine, and please write back about your yoga and Kshema. That phrase I remember, they used to write in those letters. That is what Yama is using that word here. That shows that phrase is in vogue. It was in vogue before. Okay? And what it means is this. Yoga means what? In order for me to have a happy life, I must get what I want fairly easily. I can't struggle for basics like food. I must get what I want. I must have the elbow room to buy what I want. And shelter, of course, like a nice house should be there. Nice family should be there. That acquiring these things is called yoga. Positive acquisition is called yoga. Then what about Shema? Shema is what? Acquisition is not enough. You have to maintain a family. You have to maintain a career. You have to have a salary. Month after month, you have to get a salary. Those those days they used to say permanent job. These days, some of these parents, they ask their children, oh, he has a permanent job at Microsoft. And the son is smiling. Then he's laughing. Now, so look at all the layoffs that are happening. Google is laying off. Some companies, Facebook is laying off. Some other companies, they are laying off people. Thousands of Twitter. This man comes, Elon Musk is laying off people left and right. So these parents, they don't understand this idea of impermanent job. Oh, it's really, the job can be impermanent. So that kshema, that is all kshema. I have to protect what I have. I got a job, all right, but I need to work hard to keep the job. I need to work hard to keep this family happy. Children are growing up. That is called kshema. Yoga, I want to have children. Kshema, the children have to grow well and properly. Yoga, get a job. Kshema, I need to keep the job for many more years. I have a lot of years to retire. So much work is there, right? So that's called Yoga Kshema. Now, what is he saying, Yamadharma Raja? Preyo mando yogakshemat vrinite. Preyaha vrinite. The guy who, mandaha vrinite. This aviveki chooses. Chooses what? Prayas. Shreyas Preyas. Prayas he chooses. Why he chooses prayers when there is a path called Shreyas which is supposed to free me? Yogakshemat. Impelled by the desire to protect myself, my body, my family, myself, my job, my this. I'm stuck in this world of my Yogakshema. That's it. There's no end to Yogakshema. Will it ever end? Retired people should be happy. Just ask the retired people whether they are happy or not. You hear all kinds of stories. Therefore, Mandaha Veyo Yogakshema Vrinite. This is the introduction Yamadharmaraja is giving to Nachiketa, whether he needs it or not. But we need it. We are now putting ourselves in Nachiketa's shoes and saying, yeah, this is good. I need to know these things. All right. Then he's continuing. Yamadharmaraja is continuing. I'm not done yet because I told you yesterday. These are all not yet Brahmavidyaa, but we need to understand. The purpose of this series of talks is to give an introduction to Vedanta. It is not a complete analysis of Vedanta, not possible in these kinds of sessions. So, next, look at this one. Number 4. Mantra number 4. 1.2.4. I'm going to chant it, okay? Chant along with me. Duramete viparite vishuchi avidyaya cha vidyeti jnata vidyabhipsinam nachiketa sammanye natva kama bahavo lolupanta. He's giving further insights. These two. It's like saying, tell me a little more about Shreyas and Preyas. That's what he's saying. He's saying, Duram ete. Ete, the Shreyas and Preyas, they are Duram. बहुत दूर है इसके बीच में distance बहुत ज्यादा है. They are nowhere close to each other. Okay? Viparite, they are opposites of each other also. Not only they are nearby, they are also opposites, it seems. We need to see what it means. Okay? So, Preyas, Dharmartha Kama versus Shreyas, Moksha. How come they are different and contradictory? Ask. What drives Dharmartha Kama? My activity, the Karta. I am the Karta. I am the Yajamana. I am the Manushya. I am the one who wants Artha, who wants Kama. Kama doesn't do anything. I want Kama, I want Artha. And Dharma is important to be. Be is who? Karta. Karta. Animal is not a Karta, okay? Only Manushya is a Karta. Animal does not have Kartrutva. Some limited Ahankara is there. Just enough to know. Enough to know that I am a cow. I am a cow means what? These are all cows. These are all animals of the same species as me. That much it knows. Then look at a lion. Oh, that's a lion. That much they know. Oh, a lion might attack me. I need to protect myself. That also they know. So that much ahankara is there. I need, the sun is hot. I need to look for a place that's not hot. All this, they're programmed to do all these things. Beyond that, Dharmartha Kama is not there for a cow. That is why when this CEO of a company, that guy has come into Vedanta and he begins to understand. He's doing meditation every morning. He gets up, does meditation at 5:30 in the morning because his Guruji said we should do that. Then he has some pets. Suddenly his pets are barking. Barking. Dog is barking. This guy gets furious. Hey, Chinno or Tiku or Johnny, whatever, depending on the household. What is this? Shut up. This dog do you think this dog is going to feel sorry? Going to say, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you are meditating. Nothing. Why it's not sorry? Because kartrutvam is not there. No ahankara is there. That kind of ahankara is not there. That is basic difference between animals and humans. So this prayer, this prayorthi means what? One who is seeking prayers is a karta very much. And that karta wants something out of this. I want artha and kama, therefore I must do something. I know how to get artha. How did I know how to get artha? I looking at my parents and teachers, and as I grew up, I figured out a lot of these things. I knew I had to get a degree, I knew I had to get a job, etc. That's I knew. Then kama, of course, pleasures. From day one, I needed pleasures. My parents used to give me all these toys and and all that. So I knew that entertainment was a part of my life also. And karma. But as I grow up, I have to seek it. I have to go constantly seek it. Sometimes I wanted, my parents prevent me from getting it. They said, no, this is not good for you. What? I love chocolates. No, you already had 3 bars today. Enough. Okay. So this is karta. Karta is involved seeking dharma, artha, and kama. Let's look at Shreyas. Moksha. Moksha Purushartha. Moksha. Defining moksha as what I Advaita Vedanta is going to say later that I don't know my true nature, this Atma I don't know, as being full and complete. Therefore, I am going to seek that completeness from this world, from through Dharmartha and Kama. Whereas Shastram is going to tell me that hey, this Atma is Akarta. You have taken yourself to be a Karta. Atma is Akarta, and Akarta Atma is Sachidananda, Purna Atma, Purna, full. In fact, you are the source of happiness in this world. Happiness really cannot be produced by anything in this world. Really? Yes, that is true. That is what the Advaita Vedanta Shastra is going to tell you. Therefore, what should I do? You have to recognize that all of this is anityam. That is why even the person after 80, 90 years also is sad. Something should have happened. Okay. And then this Shreyas is what? Shreyas is you have to relax, you have to understand all these facts and understand about Atma Swarupam. Understand the anityatvam of this entire Jagat. And Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya is going to be talked about. Okay, so what if Brahma is Satyam and Jagat is Mithya? So what you shan't say, because that Brahma is not different from you. You are that Brahma. That Brahma is Satyam is of no use to me. I am the guy who's suffering. Yeah, that Brahma is Satyam, all right, but that Brahma is no different than this Atma, which is me. Therefore, I am Atma Brahma. He's going to say later. Yeah, and therefore, what should I do? Shravanam Kuru. Listen to this first. Listen. That means what? This is called pravritti. Pravritti means I have to exert myself towards dharmartha kama. Only then I will get dharmartha and kama. What about this moksha marga? All that exertions should stop for the moment. Relax. That's many people like Vedanta talks. You know why? Because it makes them relax. Makes them relax. Nothing to do. Should I do some meditation? Yeah, we'll do meditation later. Just understand what is being said. Relax. You have to learn to relax because it's you we are talking about. This is the only subject which talks about Atma, and therefore this Atma Marga is called what? This is called Pravritti. I said this is Nivritti Marga. Nivritti. Nivritti means retreat. You know, these ashrams, they have this weekend retreat, they say. Weekend retreat. Why don't they call something else? They use the word retreat because I think that implication is that you can run away from your this hus bus of this life, and then you can just come to this or ashram. of forest, Nilgiri, mountains right on top. And great place. You don't have to worry about cooking, food, this, that. And you just come and relax. We'll take care of everything else. Retreat. So this is called Nivritti Marga. This is Pravritti Marga. Pravritti, I have to make an effort. Nivritti, guess what? Atma is Akarta. And for Atma, for me to really see that Atma is Akarta, I have to learn to relax. I have to see that vision. More and more I see that vision, clearer it will be for me. And that is called Shreyo Marga. No, but moksha is going to heaven is also called moksha. Yes, of course. Majority of the people talk like that. All religions, other religions also talk like this exclusively. Even our dharma, we have heaven. In fact, we are the ones who gave the idea of heaven to all other religions. What do they say? They say you have to go to Vaikunta. You have to go to Kailasha. Whatever it is, depending on your God, Vishnu, Shiva, whatever. Or Krishna, Golok Vrindavan Jane ka hai. And then after there, go to Golok, you play Dandiya. Krishna will be there, you can play Dandiya with Krishna. That's very nice. Then our Yama is going to say later, Gati. That also is Gati, my dear friend. It means you are going somewhere. Going somewhere means what you are going to get is going somewhere is an act, and what you're going to get by going somewhere is karma phalam, result of karma. Karma is finite. We saw that yesterday. Therefore, result of karma also will be finite. You may end up going to Golok Vrindavan. Nothing wrong. We also believe in it. There is something called Vrindavan, Golok Vrindavan. Advaita Vedanta doesn't deny on this. It only says what Krishna is going to tell later in Bhagavad Gita. Kshine punye martya lokam vishanti. Your punya is going to take you to Golok Vrindavan. But punye kshine sati. When that punyam that took you there gets exhausted, because punyam is also currency. What? Martya lokam vishanti. That person enters martya lokam, means the world of mortals. Krishna is saying that. The same Krishna whom you are going to meet in Golok Vrindavan. Saying. So he says this is also going and coming also is part of this. Part of what? Preyo margaha. Therefore, when we come to Advaita, our whole vision changes completely. He's talking about you are full and complete here and now. If you can understand it, you can just walk away from here. You are not answerable to anybody. No sannyasi, no swami, nothing. Nobody can stop you. Bhagavan also cannot stop you. That is Advaita Vedanta. Good. So, Shreyas, Preyas. Okay? And so here what he says, Duramete. Now you can see Duramete, Viparite, Vishuchi. They're all opposites. They're different. They're different, I can see. But they're opposites also. Why opposites? One is Pravritti. You have to make an effort. Because I am a Karta. The other is opposite. It makes me see I am a Karta. I need to see that. And then that recognition of Atma is Akarta is same as the recognition of Atma is Purnaha, complete. Is same as seeing Atma as Sachidanandaha. Is same as seeing Atma as Brahma. Sarvam Khalumidam Brahma means what? Brahma is all pervasive. What about me? Poor Atma is what? Stuck in this body, trapped in this body. No, not trapped in this body, my dear. Body seems to be trapped. My way of thinking is what traps me. Atma cannot be trapped because Atma is Brahma. Atma also is all pervasive. Okay. Therefore, look at this. Duramete viparite. Correct? Viparit hai na? Ye drishti, two drishtis are viparit. Viparit means opposites. Complete opposites. And then he's giving another word for this. Very strong words, okay? Duramete, Viparite, Vishuchi. Shreyas and Preyas are opposites and different. Got it. Now, Avidya Yacha Vidya Iti Jnata. Those who know this, those who know this subject, they understand Preyas to be Avidya and Shreyas to be Vidya. This is a bold statement. He's saying this Pravritti Marga is equal to Avidya. We have to understand this a little. Okay. See, I am a seeker. I am a karta. I am insecure. I am afraid what tomorrow is going to bring to me. So I need to secure myself from tomorrow. From the unknowns, I have to secure myself, which is what my entire life is all about. Entire life, you look at it, yoga kshema, yoga kshema. We saw that. So why I have this? Because I have taken myself to be the body. And obviously the body has to be secured because the body has some needs. Without food, the body will perish. Without basic needs, the body will perish. Then the Shastram says, my dear friend, fine, this body is you, all right. But you are not the body. We saw this also to some extent yesterday. You are not the body. Means what? Do you see this body or not? Yeah, I see my body. I can see it. Yeah, I have hands, legs. Yeah, I can see my body. What is visible to you? But the body is fat or thin? No, I put on a lot of weight in the last 3, 4 years. So much long hours of work at Microsoft. And so I put on a lot of weight. So I am overweight. Oh, you're overweight. Okay. Body is not overweight? No. Body only is overweight. Body is overweight. What about you? What about me? Is body being overweight? Is it? Are you? Do you know it? And the body says, I am overweight. No, body doesn't say all these things. Body doesn't care. That is why it is quietly accumulating everything you eat. And then in the corner of the body, it may just keeps it on the side for a better tomorrow. For a emergency, it keeps some energy. But body is fat. Body is perceived by me. Can the body be me? See, you painted your house light blue, sky blue color. You invited Grah Pravesham ho gaya. You invited all your friends, they all came. And they're all marveling at this house that you designed. The way the rooms are structured and restroom and what should the restroom have and this, that, everything you only decide. House is light blue. They said, wow, this is a great color. I love it. I think next time I also have to do the same thing. Where did you buy these paints? They're asking all these questions. My house is blue in color. My house's ceiling fans are brown in color. Never do I say I am light blue in color, sky blue in color. No. Ceiling fan is rotating. I don't say I am rotating. Why? Because, come on, you can't joke like this. This is not a joke. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows it. Okay, good. Why everybody knows it? Because they know that the fan is not me, the house is not me. Therefore, there is no confusion between fan and me. Fan is rotating, fan is rotating. That's all. Not I am rotating. That confusion will not be there. Then, when it comes to the body and mind, etc., that Shastram says that is where the confusion starts. It says you use the same idea of this fan and you should apply it to the body also. Is the fan object or subject? I see the fan, so fan must be object. Good, very good. House, object or subject? House is object. Who is the subject? I am the subject. Okay, good, very good. What about the tree there? Subject or object? Tree is object. What about that moon? Can you see the moon there? Yeah, I can see it. What about that? That also is object. Why? Because I can see it. What about those some chirping sounds you hear? What about that? Sounds. You mean the sounds? Yes. Subject or object? Look at that. Birds are there here. In the morning time, peacocks also come here. And so we hear the sounds of peacocks. That sound. Object. Sure object? Yes, object. Why? Because I'm able to hear it. Here is a definition of an object. What is the definition of object? That which can be objectified by you, that which can be perceived by you is an object. That's one definition of object. And in Sanskrit, we use various words for object called Vishaya, called Anatma, because with respect to Atma, the object is Anatma. And therefore, that object is there. And then I am different. I've taken myself to be this body, mind, and senses. So, body is fat is an objective, correct statement, but I am fat. Means what? I am projecting the attributes of the body on this self, which objectifies the body, really speaking. The self is the subject, which is not the body, which cannot be the body. If it were the body, then it can't see the mind. It can't even see the thoughts. Because body can't see the mind. Mind only can objectify the body. Therefore, I made a mistake. Mistake number one, I've taken myself to be the body. Like this, the analysis good. We'll get a chance to see that again later. But here, now look at it. What the Shastram says is, I don't know the real nature of the world and the self. And because of this avidya, because of this ignorance, moola avidya, I've taken myself to be a karta. I've taken myself to be this body. And I am now insecure because this body is changing constantly and it's suffering. Disease comes and I have to protect myself. And since I've equated the self to the body, yoga and kshema is just constant, unending. And it comes, yoga kshema comes from what? From the mistaken understanding that I am the body. That mistake is called avidya. Therefore, what is this prayers we talked about? Dharma, Artha, Kama. It requires the karta. Shastram is going to say, I am a karta. And I have taken myself to be a karta, doer. And this doer has kama. This avidya causes kama. Kama means desire for artha, kama, and dharma. That is in general called kama. Okay? Therefore, that desire impels me to do and then secure myself. So, avidya causes kama. Kama causes karma, activity. I'm impelled to act, and then karma will cause what? Karma phalam. Karma phalam. Nothing wrong with karma phalam, but only problem is phalam. Definition of phalam, if you look up Vachaspatyam, he will say, Phalgudaya liyate iti phalam. That which perishes is called phalam. Fruit perishes, correct? Look at the definition. If you look at all these definitions, you cannot but be shaken by what we do. Phalgudaya liyate. So karma gives karma phalam, artha, kama, and dharma is all in the category of karma phalam. Therefore, they are impermanent, perishable, anityam. Therefore, what is the cause of this prayers? Avidya, ajnanam. Atma ajnanam is the cause for this pursuit called prayers. Okay? Some of you are wondering. Yeah. First first session was excellent. This nice dialogue between Nachiketa and Yama and boon number 1, boon number 2 and 3, Ramba, Urvashi, and all these things we saw. Now it's all getting into some praise and pravriti and all. We have to change the mindset now. This is an introduction to Vedanta. Introduction to Vedanta need not have stories. For us, the story is a bonus, just a bonus. We have to now put ourselves in the shoes of Nachiketa. Previously, we were watching Yama and Nachiketa talking to each other. Now you must visualize Yama talking to us. Then only these things will strike us. Okay. Therefore, now you can understand why Yama is referring to this Preyo Margaha as avidya. It is triggered by avidya, it is started by avidya. It is so important that Yama is saying you can call this life, which is also called samsara, as avidya. Then what? Avidya, yacha, vidya, iti jnata. What is this marga? Shreya marga. That is called vidya. Why? Because it's a pursuit of knowledge. Ending up in the gain of knowledge, no doubt. Therefore, that whole process is called vidya. That is why, make a note of this. Sanatana Dharmis, often people call this is a faith. When I first worked in a company in the US, my boss asked me, "What is your faith?" I said, "What is your faith?" Nobody ever asked me that question. And so, what is your faith means, what is your religion? Oh, I'm a Hindu and all I say. Faith. For them, it is a faith. For us also, there are a lot of things that we believe, and therefore it's a faith. But then that faith has to culminate in jnanam, knowledge, vidya, culminate in knowledge. Faith, any faith, however strong it is, can be shaken. And so only knowledge cannot be shaken. Krishna says, Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate, Bhagavad Gita. Okay? There's nothing more sacred than knowledge. Why? Because knowledge is true to the object, and therefore 2 plus 3 is 5. Nobody can shake it. Nobody can, no physicist can come and say, I'm going to improve this equation. No, not possible. Why? Jnana. Same thing here, Vidya. And so our Hindus are called seekers. Our Srihari said seekers. He used the word seeker. In Christianity, in Islam, they don't use the word seeker. They use the word believer. Very important word, believer for them. And so, just by the way, okay? By the way. Okay. So then in that mantra, having introduced Shreyas and Preyas, and having introduced the word Vidya for Shreyas and Avidya for Preyas, and now we now understand that the role Avidya plays in our life, and therefore I don't want Avidya. Who wants ignorance in their life? Therefore, I'm now interested in this Vidya. Tell me more about what this Vidya is. Tell me more about Atma. Okay? That's the flow here. That's what is happening in this Kathopanishad. And here in this mantra number 4, 1.2.4, Yama also says, having said this, Vidya bhipsinam Naciketasam manye. Vidya and Vidya, I have told you. Where does Naciketas stand? Naciketas is interested in this Vidya. Why? Because he has given up all the stuff I offered, you're not interested in. Therefore, and your question also indicates to me that you are interested in Vidya. Therefore, Vidya bhipsinam manye. Yama says, Shankaracharya says, Vidyarthinam manye. Aap Vidyarthi hain. Vidyarthi means what? One who desires Vidya is called a Vidyarthi. Okay? And so, then what about other people? Okay, Nachiketa is a Vidyarthi. Got it. What about other people? Mandas. And here, in 5th mantra, he's going to say, Avidyayam antare vartamanaha swayam dhiraha panditam manyamanaha. He's saying, what about other people? Avidyayam antare vartamana. They are just wallowing in this world of avidya. Means dharmartha kama. It's very it is shocking, is it not? And some of you at least, it should be shocking. My God, I thought I was leading a great life and I'm a religious person. I go to temples. I've done all these things. Now I'm told that this is all Preyo Marga. And there's something called Shreyas, and I don't even know. This is the first time I'm hearing this word. That thought should come to us if it did not. Okay, so that's what he's talking about. Avidyayam antare vartamana. Those people are swimming in this ocean of avidya. Okay, swayam dhiraha panditam manyamanaha. What do they think of themselves as? Dhiraha. We are all intelligent people. We know how to invest in the post-pandemic world. You people studying Bhagavad Gita and all, you're all losers. Post-pandemic world, how to invest? You have to change your strategies. You can't do the old-fashioned investing. Bitcoin and all. Did you hear about Bitcoin? No. This is Jayakumar ji. This is you're teaching people and all. And if you don't know all these things, what kind of subjects you teach? It's a waste of life. Bitcoin. Now we are going to see into how many bits this coin is going to be broken. That is the next phase of our future, I think. Okay, Bitcoin. Okay, so Swayam Dhira. You know everything. Come to us. We will teach you. That's what those people say. It seems. Panditam Manyamanaha. They think of themselves as Panditas, scholars, knowledgeable people. Very interesting. Those who don't know, they think they're scholars. Those who know it all, keep their mouth shut. This seems to be the irony of our life. Okay. Okay. Then, and he gives an example. Yama gives an example. Andhenaiva niyamanaha yathandaha. Those people who are following the prayer marga. No, it's not a crime and all, not papa. Okay, please understand all this. This is meant for analysis. It doesn't mean it's a judgment being passed on everybody. No, please understand that. We are not. When a doctor says, does all the things and says, your sugar is shooting up. Fasting is 350. Post lunch is 500. Says, what are you eating? You need to change your diet. You can't be eating chips all day. And the doctor says that he's not passing a judgment on the patient. He's saying, he's cautioning the patient. At this rate, we will have to amputate your legs. That's what the doctor's job. Doctor has no business judging anybody. He's advising, cautioning. Yamadharma is just cautioning all of us, saying, Avidyaya mantare vartamanaha. They andhenaiva niyamana yathandaha. You know what? Who these people are? Like blind people led by the blind. Look at the example. Blind people led by the blind. That is the fate. What will happen to those people? They will, some ditch is there, this leader will fall first, everybody else will fall. Same way. These people also are no different. That is what Yamadharma Raja is saying. Okay, so he is basically clarifying to Nachiketa about these two things, Shreyas and Preyas. Nachiketa, understand that there is something called Shreyas. You seem to already understand that, but for the benefit of everybody else, there is Shreyas and Preyas. Okay? That is why all these young parents, when they're naming their children, and somebody says Shreyas is a good name, name it. No, but Shreyas, I've seen that name before. I want something new, something it has to be very unique. Why don't we call our son as Preyas? Please don't call your son Preyas. Because Preyas means something opposite. Vipariti. Okay, it is Viparitam to Shreyas. Okay. Then, number 7. Look at this. Okay. Shravanayapi bahviryo na labhyaha shrinvantopi bahavo yanna vidyuhu ascharyo vakta kushalosya labdha ascharyo jnata kushalanusishtaha. Generally, this is a beginner's course. This is not an intermediate course. This is not an advanced course. So generally, there's a process that's followed here. It has to be built up slowly. That is what Yama is doing. He's building it up slowly. He doesn't directly jump. Some Upanishads, direct jump is there. Just jumping into the water straight. So we won't teach Mandukya and all in this kind of session because Mandukya is an advanced text. First to second mantra itself, you will wonder what is going on. So we are hoping that none of you will say what is going on. Okay, I hope you can give some feedback to our organizers. I want to hear that feedback. Okay, Indica Moksha. If these sessions are useful to you or not. Okay, I have no idea who's attending this. I've got 3 of my students in class. You know why? Because otherwise I have to see myself on this laptop. I'm not interested in looking at myself. I have a mirror at home. I can see myself if I want to. And sitting in front of a laptop and seeing myself is no fun at all. I need to see people so I can communicate. I need to see some facial expressions. Only then words will come out of my mouth and I can be happy about what I'm doing. So thanks to Indika Moksha, they have allowed 3 of my students to come here, Satish ji and Ramu ji and Ani ji. And so that gradual process is happening. Okay, so no need to wonder about when are we going to finish this Upanishad, this, that. No, introduction to Vedanta, that's exactly what is happening right now. Okay? Don't worry about Kathopanishad, this by the way. It's not the Moolam. Okay. If you want the Moolam, you need to attend my Kathopanishad classes. That's a different thing. They'll take a couple of years to finish. So here he says, now he is talking about the beauty of this knowledge. Why people are not, why there's not a big line queue of people standing to come to this Vedanta, to study Vedanta. Okay. Yeah, if I am full and complete, I need to know it. Why am I struggling? If I am what I am seeking, tell me more about it. How come there are no, these hotels are not organizing all these conferences? You are full and complete. Conference, lunch given, 3 days, everything paid, come. No, nobody is doing all that. And even if they do it, I don't know how many people will come. Shravanayapi bahubir yona labhya. He's saying this particular Brahmavidyaa is a bit unique. Even after listening, Shravanaya api bahubir yona labhya, people are not able to get it. Within brackets, you have to say, it is not because of the subject matter itself, it is because of our orientation. We're all matlabi people. We want some matlab out of all these things. Matlab chahiye. Okay. And without matlab, we don't do anything at all. Without anything that what is in it for me? What is in it for me? Because I'm so used to this dharmartha kama, where I'm very clear about what is in it for me. Another job offer I get, I can evaluate the job offer. Then, December time, vacation has come, and my family discussing where to go for vacation this time. Last time we went to Bali. This time, should we do a vacation in India or also look for something outside India? Okay. All these things are there. Oh, Swarajya is conducting a tour of all this ancient sites of Karnataka, Maharashtra. I forget which one. Recently, I saw an announcement. Should we go on that 1 week trip? No, dad, all this history, this, that, broke. I'm not interested in all that. Okay. So I'm very good at evaluating all these things. Okay. But when it comes to Brahma Vidya, I am not sure how it's going to benefit me. Can you guess why? Can you guess why? That is because the adhikaritvam is not there. Viveka, vairAgyam, shamadamadi, and mumukshutvam. These are the qualifications we talked about. If the qualifications are there, the mind will automatically go towards Shreyas. But we don't have the qualifications. Viveka is not there. So that Atma Bhimuka, that mind does not go towards Atma. Too boring. And he's going to talk about define Atma later. I got a text message yesterday. Your talk was very good, but still Atma is not clear. This is what I got a message yesterday. I said, yes, we have not come to that yet. Yama has not defined Atma yet. I said, yes, you got it. That much you understood that Atma is not clear. That means you are clear about what happened. Okay. So, Shravanayapi Bahubir Yona Labhya. Many people don't understand this even after listening. And then Shrinvantopi Bahavo Yanana Vidyuhu, all that same thing. Ascharyo Vakta. Yamadharmaraja is talking about people who talk about this topic. Vakta. That means the speaker. Literal meaning is speaker. Means the Acharya. Who is talking about this? It's a wonder, it seems, to find somebody interested in talking about this. Not only interested in this, but also talking about it. For 2 full hours like this, Indika Moksha. They make us talk for 2 full hours. You don't have a problem. We can sit. I only pity all of you people. Ascharya Vakta. Look at this. You have to put up with me, right? Ani is laughing. So you have to put up with me. You're stuck now. Ani can't leave. And his children are all calling him, Dad, what is this 2 hours talk and all that? Isn't that Monday morning, Tuesday morning? Isn't that not enough for you? And then now you have come to Sunday afternoon also. So, Ascharya Vakta. People who speak about this, Ascharya Asti Boho, Nachiketa, it's a wonder. And there are people alive, contemporaries talking about it, not just past, even today, contemporaries. Kushalaha Asya Labdha. And then Ascharya Jnata. Not only the speaker is finding a speaker like this is a great wonder. Somebody listens to it and somebody says, yeah, I got it. Somebody says, crystal clear ho gaya. Sir, that also is a wonder itself. Somebody should even understand this. It's a wonder. Ascharya jnata kushalanusishtaha. And it's a wonder that somebody who is a nipunaha is able to communicate this subject matter to somebody else. It is just an ascharya. Means it is adbhutam. It's a wonder. You can't see this happening anywhere. It's very difficult to see that. That is what he's Yamadharmaraja is praising this Vidya, Brahmavidyaa. Okay? And then, so I have about 15 more minutes left, just FYI. Okay, you maybe have been watching the clock continuously, but I just saw it. Okay, and then na narena avarena prokta eshaha suvijñeyo bahuda chintyamanaha ananya prokte gatiratra nasti aniyan hyatarkamanu pramanat. Mantra number 8. Very important mantras, really. I mean, every time I read this, I've been studying this for a long time, and still I'm just at awe that these words are so pregnant with meaning. And to communicate that takes a lot of really it takes an effort on my part. I can't simply translate these words. I'm not good at translating. Because translating is not useful to you also anyway. He's not talking about the teacher. What kind of teacher is required for this Vidya? Okay. Na narena avarena proktaha yeshaha. Yeshaha or yesha vidya na avarena proktaha. Narena. Some ordinary people cannot teach this. Okay? This knowledge cannot happen. Suvijñeyo bahuda chintyamana. If ordinary people teach it, what will happen? Bahuda chintyamana. There will be a lot of funny ideas floating in people's heads. Suppose I say you have to experience Atma. Yesterday there was a question in the audience. Very good question. Can Atma be experienced? Okay. Our mindset is I have to experience Atma. I have to get some kind of flash, white flash I should get when I'm meditating. Some white light has to happen, and that means I got moksha. Nowhere in any Upanishad this is mentioned. But somehow those ideas have come out. Why? Most likely avarena narena prokta. Somebody who has not studied any of these things, they talk about sit in meditation. In your white heat of meditation, you will be able to see Atma. That's it. The entire one, this whole the statements of Yamadharmaraja, it's just ulta kar diya isne. Complete. How can Atma become an object? Whatever I think is also an object. We just said what is an object? What I can perceive, what I can objectify is an object. Atma is the subject. That is my essence. I can't even see my own eyes. I need a mirror to see my eyes. Entire life, we don't see our back. We die away not seeing our backs. Of course, nobody complains, oh, I did not see my back. What kind of life it is? Nobody says that, fortunately. But that itself is not possible. How am I going to see Atma? First, we have to understand this. That's why this rush to do things. Rush. Come on. What should I do next? Shravanam. Yajnavalkya tells Maitreyi, Shrotavyaha. That's it. That is the only advice. Listen, relax and listen. That's all it is. Then everything will follow. Yama is saying, Bahuda Chintimana. If it is taught by any average, somebody just picks up the book Bhagavad Gita and listens to some talk by somebody and two talks and gets his own ideas, starts an ashram also on top of it, starts talking about it. And Bahuda Chintimana. And you know that there are everybody is now talking about this experience. Can any two experiences be identical? Any two experiences. Hey, my experience from yesterday of that same object, let's say Rasgulla, and today I have Rasgulla. Two experiences are there. Okay, both are pleasurable experiences. Let's say I like Rasgulla. Are they identical? No, experience is subjective. can't be identical. What to talk of this experience of Atma and then everybody is seeking? Nothing. It's a great trip. Taking people on a trip means you start talking about Atma. Tell people you have to experience it. That's it. Everybody will come running to you. Okay. He's saying, Yama is saying, Bahuda Chintyamanaha. If it is taught like that, then people have many ideas about this Atma. Then what should we do? Ananya prokte gatiratra nasti. One sentence, Yamadharmaraja finished it. Ananya prokte gatihi atra nasti. Prokte sati means if it is taught, when this Brahmavidya is taught, by whom? Ananyena, that word Ananya is used. Very important word that we have to understand. Ananya. Anya. Anya means what? Other. Something else. Anya. Other. Anya means what? This is the house we are in. Anya. That house. Anya. That's something else other than what you're talking about. Okay. One definition of Ananya, Shankaracharya gives Ishvaraha na anyaha yasya saha. Means what? God, Ishvara that we are talking about, God is not something other than me, Atma. The one who knows that is called an Ananyaha. Let me repeat that. Anyaha means other. And other is referring to Bhagavan here. Bhagavan, Ishwar. Ishwar jo, Ishwar jo, I don't know how to say it in English. Mera anya nahi hai. He is not different from me. The one who knows that Ishwar is not other than myself. That knowledge one has is called also Ananya. The knowledge is also called Ananya. Ishvara is also called Ananya. Why? Because, hey, God, you are not different from me. You are lucky, you have a farm, you're playing a flute and all that, you're having fun, you're going here and there. That's okay. My Upadhi is this Upadhi. That's all. That's the only difference. Only difference in Upadhi. But Tattvataha, essence, you and I are the same. The person who can say that, who has understood that, only the person who has understood it can say it. Simply parroting is not what is talked about. Ananyena prokte sati. When this subject is talked about, presented by this Ananya, why should it be present but by Ananya? Because the topic is like that. That person has gone through the same process. He's also had a guru and he's also understood the methodology to communicate this Anuhu. Because earlier he said, Yamadharmaraja, Anuresha Dharmaha. Long ago he said that. Anuhu, Sukshma. The more subtle something is, it's more, I won't say difficult, but it takes a lot more effort, lot more precision is needed to communicate that, because one mistake made by the teacher will be absorbed by everybody. They will think it is all satyam because the student doesn't know anything about this. Therefore, what's coming has to be pakka. That pakka person is Ananya. Ananya prokte gatiratra nasti aniyan hyatakkamanu pramana. If that is not done, the consequence of that, Yama is saying, Anupramanat, people will make it mystical. They will provide so many ideas. They will say that transcendental, you have to do transcendental meditation, and then you will have to elevate yourself, and then to that level, and then that is moksha. Then you will see something as moksha. Somebody else will say no, that's not right, and then you have to complement this transcendental meditation with something else. I'm going to call it as a kriya yoga, some yoga. You give your own name, and like this so many yogas will come and it will confuse everybody. Great way to make money. I can start an institute like that. I even have a beard, so I just have to grow to, I can consult from some people. and to ask how should the hairdo be and beard, how should it, is it looking good? Is it good for a public audience? I can find out and I can start a business. That's what he's saying. Yama is saying, hey, Ananya Prokte eva Gatiratra Nasti. Once it is taught by a Ananya, then what? Gati Nasti. There is no Gati. Gati means what? Literal meaning, movement. Movement is not there. What is the meaning of that? There is no longer any seeking. I am free, I am liberated here and now. Where is the question of Gati? Where is the question of going to some heaven? All lifelong Gati. Life samsara means Gati only. Gati, Gati, Gati. And we even say in the language Gati, avanukku enna gadiyo. That's what we say in Tamil. Gati kya hai uska? Means he's just confused, roaming around, no job for the last 10 years, not married. What is his Gati? Like that they talk, So here, Gati hi nasti. That fellow also has no Gati because he's confused. Here he says, a student who learned from an Ananya, for that person, no longer any Gati, no longer any reaching other lokas, no longer any dharmartha kama to be satisfied. Jivan muktaha bhavati. Very profound statement it is. Okay. One more similar, he's saying, Naisha Tarkena Matirapaneya. This is mantra number 9. Okay. This brings us to an important topic. Topic is what? Jayakumarji. This is great, fascinating. But I think science is catching up. What is catching up? Science. Because that person is worried about science. Okay. You can worry about science, but did you understand what I said? That is my first question. Yeah, I understood. Fascinating. But I think science is catching up though. Okay, let it catch up. I'm not threatened by the fact that science is catching up. That's good. If science can validate what I'm saying, all the better. Here, Yamadharmaraja is saying science and Vedanta may not have an intersection. Science is valid in its own right. Vedanta is about Atma, and there is really no commonality between these two, except that both are rational. Just because Vedanta is rational, you cannot put it in the category of science. Why? Naisha tarkena matirapaneya proktenyenaiva sujnaya preshta. Naisha tarkena matirapaneya. This Atma Vidya cannot be figured out. You can't say, I'm smart, I got a Nobel Prize, and therefore I can figure this out. Tarkena. Tarkena means using logic. Using logic, you cannot figure out. Yama is making this statement. Means what? Everything we talked about must be logical. If it was not logical, I was a chemical engineer working in a large company, and there's no chance of me coming and studying Vedanta, quitting everything. Logic is important for all of us. Those who have studied to some extent, for them logic becomes very important. So therefore, he says, Tarkena, only logic alone cannot help you figure out Atma. I think some of you can figure out why that is a true statement. Why? Because logic will take you from A to B, B to C, C to D. It can take you. Logic can do wonders. The entire science of this medical diagnosis, they have all this diagnosis these days. Doctor just writes something, immediately they take your blood and then they finish off, they give you reams of data. Everything is trying to tell you something about what's in your blood. Based on that, the doctor can know little about my body. All logical, experimentally proven. And what are the chances of something happening? What are the chances of some um, Okay, cancer or whatever in the extreme cases. Otherwise, an antibiotic. What kind of antibiotics we have to prescribe to him? White blood corpuscle. What is the number? They have all leukocytes. They list all these things. Okay, all logical. Here also Vedanta logical. But there, in science, it's all about objective knowledge. Knowledge about object means what? Knowledge about what you can perceive, what you can objectify, what you can put under a microscope, what you can put in front of a telescope. No scientist is going to put Atma under the microscope. No, but what about psychology? It's about us. Yeah. Psychology is about the study of the mind. Mind is Atma, but Atma is not mind. I did not explain this enough. Next class, I'll explain that. Mind is Atma, but Atma is not mind. Okay? Just like, just like pot is clay. Clay is not pot. The clay pot. Pot is clay. Why pot is clay? Because without clay, there's no pot. The pot, entire pot, every ounce of that pot, every side of the pot, inside, outside, everything is clay only. Pot is clay. But clay is what? Is it pot? No. Clay cannot be pot. Clay can be shaped into a pot, no doubt, but clay is not pot. Clay is clay. It has its own physical properties, chemical properties, and it can be shaped into anything. Thankfully, clay is not pot. Otherwise, clay is pot means you can only see pots, you can't even see clay. Now, therefore, pot is clay, clay is not pot. Mind is I, Atma. I am not the mind. We'll discuss more about it in the next session, last session. And so, therefore, what was I saying? Science is probing into objects. Anything it can probe, even black hole, they talk about origin of creation, etc. But they're studying it. It's an object of study. Object of study, not the subject. Vedanta is the knowledge of the subject. Science is the study of object. Vedanta is the study of the subject. Can subject and object, is there any commonality between the two? You have to think about it. Is there any commonality? I say there is no commonality. Zero commonality. Nothing is. Therefore, what Vedanta says does not contradict science, what science says, because science talks about objects and Vedanta has no issue about anything in science. And science cannot approach Vedanta, is my statement. Science cannot come near Vedanta. Scientists can study Vedanta, that's fine, but Vedanta will not be coming under the category of science. Therefore, what do I say? I say Vedanta is not scientific. Out there, you Google, they will talk about why Veda is scientific. What I'm saying is Vedanta is not scientific, but I don't say Vedanta is unscientific. Scientific means what? Illogical. No, Vedanta is logical, full logic. Whatever rationality you use in science, we will use here also. But in science, finite, 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 finite. Logic will take you from one finite thing to another finite thing to another finite thing to another finite. From finite, you can never come to the infinite. Not possible. There is no logic which will take me from finite to infinite. Infinite is, exists. Atma is, Brahma is. You can't arrive at Brahma through logic. But you can infer. We'll talk more about that in the next class. So now it's about 11:45. So I like to conclude today's session by saying that what we studied today, let me summarize that. Shreyas and Preyas, Yama Dharmaraja introduced. That's the main thing in today's session. Okay. Dharmartha Kama is Preyas, Moksha is Shreyas. Jnanena Mokshaha, because this Preyas is driven by Avidya, then Avidya Nivritti is Jnanam, therefore Vidya, those words Avidya and Vidya, Yama only introduced. Okay. And then he talked about more avidya, and then the difficulty of this subject, why it's not popular. It's not popular. And then Ascharya Vakta, it's all we saw. Then he talked about the teacher. What kind of teacher can really teach this? Ananyaha. The name of the teacher is what? Ananyaha. One who doesn't see a second, not not two, The Veda Academy says not two. So not two means what? There's no other. Ananyaha, there's no other at all. Only if there is another, I can talk about the other, but other itself is not there. Water can say there is no other. There's only water. Ocean is also water. Wave is also water. Everything's water. Pani, pani, pani hai. That person is called Ananyaha. Then we talked about Tarkena Matirapaneya. Why? You cannot just say, I'm very smart and I'm very intelligent and therefore I'm going to figure this out. This I'm going to figure this out won't work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jayakumar ji. It was such an interesting, energizing talk. Very, very interesting. I was really drawn to the word Atyasrakshi in one of the verses. Yama uses that particular word to describe Naciketas. And I remember from the time I started reading, listening to Kathopanishad, it stayed with me, and it is very inspirational, aspirational to pick up from Nachiketa. And also, as you mentioned, that many don't, Ascharya Vakta, because it is to completely turn the vision inward. Right now, it is all outward. But when it turns inward is when the journey, really shifts. And I think there is one verse in Kathopanishad itself which talks about this shift. Davitra chakshuhu amritatvam ichan. So I was able to connect all that you said today with that particular, verse. And I think each verse is so potent in itself. It's very powerful. We can just spend a lifetime reflecting and contemplating on this. So once again, thank you on behalf of Indika Moksha. There are some questions. I shall bring them up. So one of the seekers is saying, so is according to Yama, the knowledge of Veda also avidya? Because Veda talks about dharma, kama, artha, and moksha. You're on mute, Jayakumar.
Okay. According to Veda, can you repeat the question?
According to Yama, is the knowledge of Veda also avidya? Because the Veda talks about dharma, kama, artha, and moksha.
Answer is yes. Yes. Good. So the questioner is asking a good question, and yes, avidya only. And in Mundaka, just to back that up, Mundaka Upanishad, there he talks about Dve Vidye Veditavye, he says. The teacher there says Dve Vidye Veditavye. His student is Shaunaka, and Atharva is telling Shaunaka, hey, you know what? There are two kinds of knowledge. Dve Vidye Veditavye. One is Aparavidya and the other is Paravidya. There he's using those words, para and apara. Here, Shreyas and Preyas, right? Aparavidya. And then he is defining what Aparavidya is. Paravidya is knowledge of Param Brahma, Atma, Paravidya. What about Aparavidya then? He's saying, you know what? Is Rigvedaha, Yajurvedaha, Samavedaha, Adharvana Vedaha. He's bringing that in this one. Vyakaranam, Shiksha, Jyotisham, everything, all the sciences, Upavedas comes under Aparavidya. My God, I thought Veda was Paravidya and all. I used to worship the Vedas because Paravidya. And now you are telling me it is Aparavidya. Yes. Dharmartha Kama. Words are all words only. Then what is Paravidya? Can you tell me? Yes, I can tell you. Yaya tad aksharam adhigamyate. That aksharam, that which is Atma, which is aksharam, which does not decline, does not take birth, it always is. That by which you understand that aksharam is called Paravidya. That's it. The Shastram doesn't say anything. It leaves it in passive voice. That by which you understand this Vidya is called Paravidya. Oh, finished. Clean.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jayakumarji. Next question: why is meditation or samadhi done? Is it necessary to understand Atma?
Yeah, good question. It's a common question also again. So there is an appreciation, there is something to be understood in this, right? Not simply believed. Vedanta, people, I believe in Atma being Brahma. No, no, that is not acceptable to teachers like us. Yeah, you have to say, yes, I'm clear, crystal clear about it. Crystal clear means understanding. So the question is, what is the role of meditation in this Vidya? The purpose is this. The mind is racing. The mind is active, because pravritti marga is active mind. You need an active mind to pursue dharma, artha, and kama. How are you going to calm it down? How? Mind will not calm. Try to sit. Try to sit for 5 minutes. Just, I suppose I say, from tomorrow onwards, choose any time of the day and sit quietly for 5 minutes. Quietly. Don't think anything. It will be difficult. It will be difficult. You'll find like after 3 minutes, you have to do this, that, and as though something has happened. Nothing has happened. You're only sitting. Everybody is happy that you're sitting because otherwise you create a lot of problem at home. Everything is fine. Not work. So that mind has to be calm. Only a calm mind can absorb this teaching. Only then the words will will the light bulb, they draw a light bulb on the head. Means what? Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it. How are you going to say, yeah, I got it? So dhyanam is used meant for that, and antakarana shuddhi, etc. is there. Yeah. So it helps us gain that state of mind, but dhyanam is not a means for jnanam. Dhyanam is not a means for jnanam. Please understand that. Only pramanam can give knowledge. Everything else we do, charity, helping others, values, living a life of dharma, etc. All that is an accessory to this. It only helps us. It gave me this antakarana shuddhi.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jayakumarji. And last question as of now is, we spoke of dhira as a viveki, and vivekam is to separate or to discriminate between atma and anatma. So could you please elaborate on that?
Yeah. So, yeah, they are identical. So, in a text called Tattvabodha, the Acharya there answers the student asks the question, Viveka kaha? Like that is asked. What do you tell me what is Viveka? It's a very beautiful text where there is a dialogue between the student and the teacher. And the student is asking all questions. What is Dharma? What is Karma? What is Atma? What is Anatma? What is Brahma? What is all these technical words. What is viveka? What is purushartha? Viveka? What is vairAgyam? What is shama, dhamma? Everything he asks. It's a dialogue. It looks like as though exactly this is exactly what I also want to know. So you feel like that. So that is that kind of a book. There he is asking the question, what is viveka? Viveka is answered in only 2 or 3 words. Atma anatma vivekaha. That is what he says. Atma anatma bhedaha vivekaha. Means appreciating the difference between Atma and Anatma. It's called Viveka. Now, the question is, how come I don't know what Atma is? How can I appreciate Atma from Anatma? In fact, I am coming here to study and know about Atma. Yeah, that's okay. It's like getting a driver's license. The problem with getting a driver's license is you have to drive. You have to drive because they'll ask you, they'll see how you're going to drive. But you can't drive without a driver's license. Because the cop will catch you. Why are you driving? Where is your license? Show me. No, I don't have a driver's license. I'm going to get a license. Okay? Don't you understand what I'm saying? Cop says, no, I don't care about all that. Where is your driver's license? No, I don't have. That is why we have come up with a system called learner's permit and all these things. And learner's permit means what? You are allowed to drive with a driver next to you. You can't drive alone by yourself. So that guidance has to be there. And so the catch 22 is there. So here also it's the same thing. Um, that Atma and Atma Viveka. How it works is, yeah, you begin to get some idea through lectures like this. You begin to get some idea that some idea itself is enough. And if there's a conviction in you that says, yeah, this is it, it's now a question of me learning a little more. But I'm convinced that Atma and Anatma are way too different. Viparite.
Wonderful. As you said, I think just the awareness that these two are two different and apart will be the starting point, the initial point. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jayakumar ji. We don't have any further questions from the seekers. So, are there any
Yesterday,
closing?
what about yesterday, the free will question?
Oh, yes. Sorry. Let me bring it up.
Or you can bring it up next session also. Not an issue. I think just
Sure.
you
Yes,
want
I
to have.
should keep it ready for the next session and we will bring it up. Yeah.
Right.
Shall we conclude, Jayakumar ji?
Yeah. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aniji and Satishji and Ramuji. Thank you.